Welcome back to another episode of the Be Better podcast. My name is Harrison Orr. I'm your host. I'm a holistic men's health and performance coach. I run Primal Energies, the mushroom company that has brought you brain juice, soon to be Australia's favourite coffee alternative. I'm also a husband, a father, and a biohacking man just trying to be his best, but then also help others to live up to their fullest potential and be their best in life as well. And so through the school academy, the coaching, Primal Energies, this podcast, and all the content, that is my hope to be able to help you be better in some capacity. And so part of that is being able to take action on these things that you learn or these tools that you have. So with every podcast, with every piece of information that you consume, I hope it helps you to take action to change something. Just because I've been in that space myself before of stacking all this information, I just need to learn more, read more, digest more, but then change nothing. And so more information won't do you any good, more action will. So I hope you can take action on something from today. And today came about from an interaction I had on Saturday, which I wasn't expecting. And so the theme of this podcast is going to be confidence and not giving a fuck, right? Which I think is a very valuable skill to have for people, especially as you start to grow your presence or your influence in a certain community, especially online, things like that. Because I have never received so much I wouldn't say hate, but just negative comments as I have until I started running ads with my face on them. So for our coaching company, the Uncommon Man Project, I run the ads, I produce the content for the ads and things like that. And so there's a lot of people that resonate with it. They're like, yeah, that's me to a T, man. Cool, what's this about? And want to find out more. It hits them. And like, they're the obviously people who I talk to. But there's these other people that just are just internet trolls and throw a lot of hate. And it's been interesting getting some of these comments and seeing the way that my internal reaction and my feeling comes to them, because there's some people that you read the comment and you make a bit of a judgment or whatever you need to tell yourself to disprove. They're like, oh, there's a few misspelling mistakes, or it's a person with a car or some cartoon character as a profile picture. They're like, okay, it's some illiterate person, he's not my target audience anyway, or whatever we tell ourselves to dismiss this person's comments. But then there's some people that you just feel that inclination to defend yourself, to respond, to reply. And I found it very interesting because I know in the past I would have been upset. I would have been personally affected. I would have taken these things personally, some of these comments, and it would have hurt me. It would have kept me up at night. It would have just like really affected me mentally. But what I've noticed now is I don't have any of those responses. Not yet anyway. And so I wanted to share a few ways that I've helped to build this confidence, to build this armor of not giving a fuck, so that it helps you. And just to pre-frame this, there are most definitely times when you should give a fuck, right? I'm not saying that you should be this heartless person that doesn't care what anyone else says, that is completely arrogant and just disregards feedback from anybody else. That's not what I'm saying. There are most definitely times when you should take on board what people say, especially if it's people in your inner circle and it's a repeated message that you keep getting, right? So I believe everyone should have their circle of influence, their top 5 people, where if someone in this circle tells me something or gives me feedback, I should think seriously about that. Like, have I crossed a boundary? Am I doing something that maybe I shouldn't? Or take that on board, or at least have a discussion about it. And then if you're also getting repeated feedback about your actions, the way that you speak to people, maybe you've got a lot of people saying that you're really arrogant, or you're rude, or you're aggressive, or you're saying something that you don't see as a compliment or you don't like, maybe it's worth looking internally like, cool, could that be true? And which leads me into my first point of, if you're getting offended or upset at what people say, there is something that you believe might be true about their statement. Because let's, for example, say that you are of natural hair color, right? You've got black, blonde, brown, ginger hair. And I said, you look like a fucking idiot with that purple hair. You're going to be a little bit confused and probably think, what do you mean? I don't have purple hair. And it's not going to land. It's just going to slide straight off you like water off a duck's back. And why? Because you know that it's fundamentally not true. You're like, well, I don't have purple hair, so he's not talking to me. Or like, what's wrong with this guy? Like, it won't carry any weight. But then if someone says, hey, you're fat, hey, you're an asshole, hey, you're this, you're that, and there's an element of that you believe is true about yourself, then it's going to sting. It's going to hurt because they've struck a chord that you think is true as well, or at least could be true. And so in that space, instead of getting defensive and thinking, fuck that person, they're rude, they're this and that, look back into yourself. What do I believe about myself? Like, is that true? And if it is true, why am I not owning it? Why am I not acknowledging that as, yep, that's true, right? So it's like if someone said to me, Harry, you look like an old bald-headed fuck with your receding hairline and this, that, and the other. I used to be super self-conscious about my receding hairline. That's why I ended up just shaving my whole head because I didn't like the way that I was looking. So I owned it. Is what it is. That's it. But then when I was in that space of trying to cover it up, pretend nobody noticed, and then someone would say, oh, hey, five head, how's it going? Or comment on that, it would really get to me because we're hoping nobody notices. We're hoping nobody else sees it or nobody else calls it out. But then when you own it and you're like, yeah, so what? Their words don't carry any weight because they're expecting you to get upset about it, to get defensive about it. So Eminem does this in one of the final scenes of 8 Mile in that last battle, where he owns every one of those disrespectful comments that anyone could say about him. Like, yes, he lives in a trailer with his mum. Like, yes, his friend shot himself in the foot. Yes, his mates are peeping Tom, or like all that stuff that he goes through. You own all that. Oh crap! They got no ammo now because you've owned all your stuff. And so, if there's things that you're self-conscious about, own them. If you think you're fucking stupid, go learn some stuff. Improve your reading, improve your articulation, improve your speaking, improve your vocabulary, wherever it is that you feel like you're stupid. If you're not proud of your weight or your body, go and do something about it. Own it. Like, yeah, cool. I'm feeling a bit soft at the moment. I'm not in as good shape as I'd like to be. Go get a diet, go start training, go do something to take action on that, improve it, and change it, instead of trying to hide it. Because we think by hiding things that people won't notice. I'll give you a hint, everybody fucking notices, right? It's not a secret. And so that also provides ammo for other people when we try to hide things. But I want to share a story about myself because this is something that I learnt, right? So some people might think, oh, it's easy for you and other people who are just born confident and like just don't give a fuck and all these things. That's not the case. This is definitely a learned trait, right? If you're very self-conscious, if you're not very confident or not as confident as you'd like to be, this is very much a learned trait. And so I used to be very much an introvert. I used to resonate with being anxious, being an introvert, being shy, being socially awkward, all those things, right? That was me. And I can pinpoint the exact moment that I resonated with those things. And it was not because I wanted to be those things, but it was out of fear of being the opposite. And so when I was in year 5, myself and 2 other classmates had to go to another classroom. We had to knock on the door. And there was a girl in our class that was for pocket money, was taking the bins out onto the street for elderly people, right? They'd give her a couple bucks, they'd take the bins out and stuff like that, and they were just talking about that. And my attempt to join in the conversation was like, oh, that's pretty sad. Like, my rationale, I realized I didn't communicate it, but my thinking was, oh, like, that's pretty sad that some people can't even take their own bins out, right? They can't even carry a bin 10 meters to the curb. They thought I was saying that's pretty sad, as like she's taking bins out for money, like that's pathetic. Not what I meant at all. But we were 11 years old, didn't have that level of communication to be able to sort that out. And he proceeded to, just lay into me. She stood there and laughed, and, they were the cool kids. So hurt my ego. And I perceived him as being arrogant, as being cocky, and as being an asshole. And so because of how he made me feel in that moment, subconsciously I made a pact to myself that I never want to be seen as being like him. I never want to make anybody else feel like I did in that moment. And so I'm going to make sure that everything that I do can never be classified as arrogant, as cocky, as confident, because I couldn't differentiate between arrogance and confidence. And so I went the complete other way. I'm going to be a nice guy. I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm not going to, over communicate or talk to people like that. I'm going to be shy. I'm going to be reserved. So I'm the opposite. And that's the way that I lived for a hell of a long time. And so I became this nice guy that was always wanting to please people, that never wanted to rock the boat, never wanted to do anything like that. And it served me a little bit, but I ended up getting to the point where I was getting walked over, I was becoming a doormat, I was really socially awkward, and just lacked the confidence and self-belief that I knew I needed to be able to help people, to grow myself. And funnily enough, because of this nice guy syndrome that I was experiencing, I had put all of my value in what other people thought of me, especially females. I had put so much effort into, if I'm nice to her, if I've got a good body, if I do these things for her, then she will like me, she will value me, she will sleep with me, she will do all these things. And when that is reciprocated and I get those things, awesome. I get confidence, I get affirmation that what I'm doing is good and that I am worthy and that I'm confident, I'm these things. Not a great place to be. Because whether you place your worth or your confidence in your salary, in your partner, in your house or your business, or in any external factor, those things can be taken away. Your house can be knocked down by weather or a fire. Your business can get sued and have to file bankruptcy and you lose all your money. Your wife or your partner can go and cheat on you or leave you, take your half your stuff, or God forbid, die. Right? All these things can be taken away from you. And so if that's where you place your value, your confidence, your worth, that's a very fragile state to be in. And so one of the things that gave me the most confidence, funnily enough, was just before I came home from Canada, when I was working over there for a few years, I found out that my girlfriend at the time had been cheating on me. And I had my suspicions, thought that's what was going on, but then was gaslit and said like, no, you're crazy, you're overthinking this, you're wrong, you're this, that, the other. And then you start to doubt yourself, like, cool, am I just making this up? Am I overreacting? Like what's going on? And then I eventually found out that it's true. And so all those premonitions, all those suspicions, all those hints that were telling me that something's wrong, she's not faithful, that something's going on here, were right. They then carried over into my next relationship. And funnily enough, when I left Canada, I had this new confidence that I'm better than her. I'm better than people like that. And so, as weird as it might sound, that gave me this confidence that, you know what, no matter what I do, I'm better than that. So I deserve more than that. So I took back my power of needing someone like that to validate me for my confidence, for my self-worth. So I took a part of that confidence back. Cool. I don't need that validation. And then fast forward another couple of years in another relationship, similar space. But now I'm carrying with me all of those different cues, those signs, those symptoms. I'm again getting jealous, getting angry, getting stressed out, getting very controlling and restrictive, and I was not happy with the way that I was handling things. And then eventually something hit me that said, dude, one of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to stop this and actually have a shot at making this relationship work, or you're going to keep doing this, keep being controlling, keep being jealous, keep being restrictive, keep overacting, keep accusing them of nothing that they haven't done, or accusing them of things they haven't done, I should say, and drive them away. And so I thought about it like this. If she's out at the club, out with her friends, like we were young at that time, so our age were still into that. So she's out, she's drinking, she's dancing, she's having fun. She's getting missed calls, paragraphs from me. When are you coming home? Who are you with? Where are you this? You didn't say you'd be with him. Who's there? I'm waiting for those 3 little dots to fucking light up on the screen to say I'm getting a message back. Or I'm checking stories on different social medias of the friends that she's with, trying to get my detective hat on, all these kinds of... driving myself insane, right? Not healthy. For myself, for her, for the relationship, nothing. Like, no one gains anything from this. And I realized, well, how likely is she to want to come home to that? Not if she does, it's out of pure submission. Like, fuck, I can't have fun anyway. Harry's losing his shit. I'm just going to go home. It's just not worth the fight. It's not worth the issue, right? And then she just gets beaten into submission and then comes home. But she's not happy about it. She's not going to come home happy to see me anyway. Or she thinks, fuck that guy, puts her phone in her bag, leaves it at the table, goes, gets more drinks, goes dancing, and almost subconsciously in, a spiteful mode, will go dance with someone else, and then eventually when the drinks are flowing, potentially hook up with someone else and do all that kind of stuff. And it brings my worst nightmare to reality. But had she wanted to do that if I hadn't pushed her to that edge? Don't know. But my subconscious is going to tell me, I knew that would happen. My premonition was right. Keep going down that. And so I didn't want that to come to a reality. And so I realized she is going to cheat on me, leave me, whatever it is, no matter what. Whether I like it or not, she is a person of her own control, her own decision making. She can do whatever the hell she wants. And so if she's the type of person to cheat on me, to leave me, to do all those kind of things, she's going to do that whether I'm kicking back, relaxing, watching Netflix, just eating my own takeout, just not even responding, letting her have her girls' night out, doing her thing, and just waiting for her to come home. Or if I'm stressing out, almost crying myself to sleep, or actually can't sleep, stressed out, texting, over messaging, going from back and forth from all the stories, and just waiting for her to get home and then starting a stupid fight, because that's more likely to push her away too. And so that realization of she's going to do it whether I like it or not, so why stress myself out about it? Why beat myself out? Why bring this into reality when I don't have to? And so bringing back that confidence of recognizing, cool, that can happen, but it's not within my control. But even if it does, I'm going to be okay. I was born into this world and I lived just fine without her beforehand. If this happens, if this comes to reality, I will be just fine without her. Sure, it's going to suck, right? It's going to suck for a little bit. It's going to hurt. It's going to be emotionally painful. It's not going to be nice, but it's not going to be life-threatening. I will be okay. And so when it comes to where you place your confidence, bringing that confidence inward. And so whether it's in a relationship, having the confidence that you are enough, who you are, that you don't need somebody else's validation. Or it's confidence in business, that you know how to start a business, that you know how to make money, you know how to provide value to people that will pay you for it. Or whether it's in your own health, having the confidence that you know how to move your body, that you know how to be disciplined, that you know how to get good night's sleep and eat a nutritious diet, doing all these things. As you start to build these up, you have this confidence that I can replicate anything in my life. Until the day that they kill me, I'm the person that made all this happen. I believe in myself. So until I die, I'm the one in control of this. And that frame has massively helped me, because it's then less about my achievements and the things that I accumulate in life, businesses, money, house, car, family, all that stuff, and more about who I become in the process. Like becoming the man that is capable of generating that kind of income, the man that is capable of being that kind of role model for my son, the man that is capable of seducing and keeping that level of woman and providing value to her, not because I need her to reciprocate that and because that's how I judge my value, but because she is an important part of my life and we fit each other in that way. It's nice to have each other, but we don't need each other, which brings me to a point where some people might disagree with me on this, but I prefer to have people in my life that don't need me, that do not need me. I want people in my life that like me and that want to be here. Because the way I see it is if someone needs you in their life, they need you for a certain purpose. So it's transactional. They need you for the money that you provide. They need you for the thing that you do for them. They need you for that hole that they fill in their life. But you're only there as long as you maintain and fulfill that need. As soon as you stop fulfilling that need or that need is no longer relevant, you don't have a purpose in their life. And so I would much rather be in people's life because they want me to be there. They don't need me, but they want me to be there. Because to me, that provides a lot more value because that means they like me for who I am, not what I do for them. And so you'll notice this with a lot of your friends, a lot of family, a lot of people in your life that get distant from you, get frustrated with you, get angry with you when you stop doing a certain thing for them. Maybe you stop paying when you go out for meals, or maybe you stop doing something and then all of a sudden they don't want to hang out anymore. They don't want to see you anymore. They stop making an effort in that relationship. And then it kind of shows you, cool, I know you don't like me for who I am. You like me for what I do for you. And so a lot of guys will notice this in drinking buddies. You know, mates that you go to the pub, you go to the footy, you know, you get drunk, or you go and play golf and you drink. But outside of drinking together, there's no interaction. There's no, oh, well, why don't we go, oh, you're not drinking at the moment? Cool, no worries, man. I just want to hang out. Just want to catch up, see how you're doing. Let's go for lunch. Let's go for a coffee. Let's go to the gym. I'll just come over. I'll bring the kids. But then some people will, oh, you're not drinking. You're boring. You're this. And then they just cut you out. They stop talking to you. You were fulfilling that need. And they don't want to see that it's possible to change, especially if that's something that they are trying to do but don't feel they are strong enough. I hope this is helpful so far. I hope this is like starting to get a few cogs turning as to where you're putting the power in your life for your confidence. Like who has the confidence in your life to determine your worth or if you should be confident or not. And what I'd like to differentiate is confidence in yourself, like in your being and who you are, and confidence in executing a skill, right? You can be a confident person, but you have no right to be confident flying a fucking plane, right? And it's just like you will have general areas that you will feel more confident. So like I used to feel my confidence was in the kitchen, being a chef, or in the gym, because I love training. I knew my way around the gym. I knew my way around exercises. Those two places, like I was the shit. Like I would walk around, like I wanted to walk around all the time. Like I was very confident and knew my stuff. As soon as it came to talking to women or having a conversation with someone, whoa, that's too much. I don't know how to do that. Looking at where you're giving this power to and taking that power back. Like what is it going to take for you to have this confidence so that other people, whatever they think of you, because that's none of your business, doesn't impact you negatively. When people can say things about you and doesn't faze you. Like, cool. That's okay, bro. That doesn't faze me. You carry on with your life. And so if there's things that you feel are not confident, that are making you not confident, or people that are say things that hurt you, ask yourself, first of all, is it true? Is that something that I'm trying to hide or that I'm not acknowledging about myself? And start there. Because when you can acknowledge those things and then own them, like, yeah, I'm not in the shape that I want to be. Yeah, I'm not as good as I could be. Yeah, I didn't perform as well as I could have then. Yeah, I missed this thing. Or own that mistake or own that flaw. That power gets ripped away. Because that's no longer ammo that anyone can use against you. Because you're like, yeah, I fucking know. And then either do something about it if it's important to you, or say, you know what, I actually don't care. Because that's not important to me. But own that for yourself. I hope this has been helpful. Like, confidence is something that I know a lot of people could do more with, and not arrogance or delusion, but just confidence in themselves. Because I know for me personally, that lack of confidence stopped me from taking opportunities, from putting myself out there, from doing things that I wanted to do, because I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of like the outcome and all these things, when really those things just provide you feedback so you can get better. I had a mentor that once used to tell me, feedback is the breakfast of champions. So even if it doesn't work out the first time, awesome. You get feedback on where to be better. Trying to hide your flaws is a common nice guy trait, and it won't serve you in trying to grow. It will keep you safe where you are right now. But if you're not happy with where you want to be right now, or you know you can be better, owning those flaws is the place to start. So I'm going to wrap it up there. This has been a longer one than usual. I hope this has been helpful. And like always, I want you guys to take action on this. So either reach out to me in social media on Instagram, or comment below on this, leave us a star rating, take action on something that you've learned today. Own that flaw. The first step to owning that flaw, I want you to either message it to me, post it somewhere. You know what? I'm actually really self-conscious about this thing, and this is what I'm going to do about it. Or, yeah, I have this thing. So what? Own it. And so, I see you guys around. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.